We've been placing our corals wrong this entire time. What's up, Reefers? Queen of Reef here, back again with another video in my little aquascape coral placement design series. Coral placement is so important to having a really great looking reef tank, but for some reason, we never talk about coral placement from a design aesthetically pleasing perspective. So in today's video, I'm going to do just that, my dear Reefers. In today's video, I'm going to share the secret sauce of sexy coral placement, okay? I'm going to show you how you can place your corals in a way that will make them look artificially brighter than they really are. Yeah, I know. Now, before I get into the secret sauce of sexy coral placement, I must first make a quick disclaimer. Your first consideration when adding corals into your aquarium must always be the individual coral's needs and requirements for placement. Know the area your coral will thrive in terms of flow, light, and what other corals it can tolerate living next to them as their neighbor. Only once you know the area that your corals thrive in should you take this secret sauce into consideration. Sexy coral placement is actually pretty easy, okay? It's all based on the principles of color theory and this circle of sexiness. I'm going to show you how this color wheel changed my life and will change your life as well by creating color harmony in your reef aquarium. We're going to use this color wheel of sexiness to contrast the colors of the corals in your tank in a way that makes them look much brighter than they really are and just truly make your aquarium pop. This color wheel is how we're going to pick our coral layout moving forward by using the color wheel to select complementary colors. Complementary colors are two colors that directly oppose each other on the color wheel, such as red and green, orange and blue, and yellow and purple, okay? Complementary colors paired together create high contrast, and you typically use them when you want something to really stand out. Do you guys see where I'm going with this now? Corals placed next to each other that are complementary colors of each other make the corals look artificially brighter. So how does this apply to your tank? First, separate your aquascape into sections. Pick 2 to 3 sections depending on the size of your tank that you want to highlight as the statements of your tank. Basically, the primary focal points of your tank that you want the eye to be drawn to immediately upon viewing your beautiful reef aquarium. These are your eye-catching sections, okay? Next, for each of your eye-catching sections, pick one coral that you are absolutely in love with. This coral is going to be your showpiece for that section. Now, it doesn't have to be a high-end or collector's coral. It can be a coral you just love for no particular reason. It really doesn't matter. So once you've picked out your main eye-catching sections and your showpiece coral for each of those sections, all you have to do is place that showpiece coral in the center of that eye-catching section. Okay, make sure it stands out, it's bold and proud right there in the center, and then use other corals that are complementary in color to the showpiece coral to frame it or to bracket around your eye-grabbing showpiece coral. Basically, all we're doing is just placing complementary corals to the side or behind our lovely showpiece coral. Offset, of course, for bonus points. But always keep in mind when placing corals the future growth of the coral as to avoid any kind of coral warfare, which obviously nobody wants. Always make sure that the focus coral of the eye-catching section is always in the center of this section and the first thing that grabs your eye when looking at this section. It's not necessary, but if you've ever thought about any kind of high-end or collector corals, if you want those, pick them to have as your showpieces and leave more traditional bread and butter corals for the framing if that's the route you want to go. Guaranteed though, this technique will make any kind of corals pop, so that's really not necessary, but you're gonna do that whole high-end thing, save it for the showpieces, okay? So say for example you found these gorgeous blue acans, they're the love of your life. You need to make them the showpiece for your acan garden, obviously. So you pull out your handy dandy color wheel and you see what color directly opposes blue, which is orange. So to ensure max brightness and eye-catching color of your gorgeous blue acans, you need to frame your acan with other sexy orange acans, or actually any coral that is orange, really. just like the forest fire digi used in the previous example, if our forest fire digi is our showpiece, we need to frame it with other corals that complement red in color. The complementary color of red is green, so the forest fire digi needs to be framed in green corals such as the green slimer, for example. Also, make sure to stay out on the hunt for corals that are naturally complementary in their own color, such as sunset montes are a good example. They have that beautiful red base with those green polyps, and a lot of other montes like the Aquaman monte with a nice blue base and that orange tips. That's nice. Yep. Also, most acans, zoas, mushrooms, ricordiots, etc., they usually have a lot of color contrast within themselves, so make sure to keep your eye out on those naturally complementary colored corals, okay? Because they'll really be coral additions that will make your tank really pop. Now let's take a look at some real life examples, shall we? I know, my YouTube game has been slacking, but I'm trying to get a routine down right now, so hopefully we'll get better about this. So happy to hear that you guys enjoyed the aquascaping video though, and that the secret sauce of sexy scapes was helpful to you guys. Now go out there and make me proud with those sexy aquascapes, okay? Make sure to tag me in them. And big ol' shout out to Daniel too for appreciating my humor. And yeah, I get called crazy all of the time, but it's never in a good way, so that's kind of nice.